Hi everyone, welcome to Techno Avengers. My name is Navdeep. In this AWS lab, we will see how we can create an AMI from a running EC2 instance. So let me explain you what is an AMI first. So as the full form says, Amazon Machine Image is a kind of blueprint, or you can say snapshot, that can be used to launch new instances. So if you have some running EC2 instance that is a customized one and you want to create a snapshot out of this so that you can create future instances with the same configurations, so you can create an AMI and that AMI can be used to launch those new instances. So we will see the live demo of that in this particular lab. So let's get started. So I already have this EC2 instance running on my AWS account. So I will create an image out of this account, but before that I will customize this instance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to launch a very simple web application on this instance, which will say welcome to Techno Avenger. So after that web page is created, I will create an image and then using that image I will launch a new instance and then see if my web application also works on that new instance or not. So let's get started. Let me customize this instance. For that, let me connect to this instance. So if you are not aware how you can connect to the EC2 instance and what our EC2 instance actually is, you can check my EC2 labs. So there I have displayed how you can create an instance and how you can connect to that instance. So I have connected to this instance using my PuTTY client. So the first step that you will do is sudo su so that you will become the super user. So that you have all the access to do all the updates or install on this particular EC2 machine. So once you have become this sudo user, so the next step that we are going to do is just to update all the packages on this machine. So I will say yum update -y. So this will update all the packages that is already on this machine. So let me clear this console one time. After that we have updated all the packages. So now I have to install something called Apache server, and to do so I have to say yum install -v httpd. Now to start that Apache server I have to say systemctl start httpd, and then I have to say systemctl enable httpd. My Apache server is now started. The next thing that I have to do is I have to create a very simple web page that will say welcome to Techno Avengers. So now I will create that file. So I will say echo welcome to Techno Avengers, and I will redirect the output of the C code to a file in the location where www.html, and let me name it as index.html. So now this file should be available on port 80. So if I say curl localhost and then the port 80, I should see welcome to Techno Avengers. Now if we want to check if that works on a web browser as well, then we have to copy this IP address and then access the port 80 on this IP address. But before doing that, I have to change a little thing on my security group. So let me see my security group. So in my security group, I have set the inbound traffic to this instance can only be the SSH. So I have to mention that it can also be accessed via the HTTP. So let me edit my rules. Let me add a new rule which will say HTTP on port 80, and then I could say my IP. And here also I could say my IP, and then I have to say save. So now my inbound rule is allowing the HTTP as well as the SSH protocol to be linked to this particular instance. Let me go back to my instance and then copy this public IP. Let me open a new browser. Let me copy it here and then access the port 80 on this web browser. So you could see it is displaying welcome to Techno Avengers. So my EC2 instance is now customized. This EC2 instance is running a Apache server on it, and it has a index.html page that is displaying welcome to Techno Avengers. So let me create an image out of this instance, and I will be creating a new instance using that particular image. So let me go to that instance, right click, and I can say image, create image. I can give any image name to this. Let me call it as Apache server image, and then the image description, Techno Avenger website running, anything you can give it just for the information. Then it will show you the snapshot that will be created for this particular image, and this snapshot will be attached to any future instances that will be launched out of this particular image. You can add new volumes also if you want to have more storage associated with your instances. You can add a new volume here, but let me create this with this particular snapshot only. So let me create image. So you could see create image request received, and I can see the pending image from here. So let me click here. So you could see it is in the pending status, so it may take some time. So you could see my image status is now available. So you could see the visibility is private, but I can make it public, or I can share this AMI with any other AWS account. So let me show you. Let me right click here. So I can deregister this AMI, I can register a new AMI, or I could launch a new instance out of this AMI. So I will do that. So if I say modify the image permission, so I can make this image public. So once I will make this image public, it can be accessed by anyone. So I could also share this image with some AWS account number. So if you have some account number, you can fill it here. So I can fill out some account number here, and I can add some permission to that account. So this account now can access my AMI. I can also provide the copy option to this AWS account. So if I click here, so they could have the permission to copy my AMI directly, and then can launch the instance out of that copied AMI. Somehow if I don't check this box, this account owner can launch an EC2 instance out of this AMI, and then can create an image out of this EC2 instance. So anyway, we cannot prevent the copying of AMIs. Either they can directly copy the AMI using this permission, or they can create an AMI out of the running instance. So let me not give any permission as of now, and I will cancel this screen. So let's launch our instance using this image. So I will say launch here. So when you say launch, you will be prompted to the EC2 instance launch screen. All the steps will remain the same. You can select the family. So I'm going to select the T2 micro because it is a free tier eligible. Let me say next. I have to assign the number of instances, whether I need a spot instance, network, subnets, and all other things that are required to launch an EC2 instance. So I'm not changing anything here. I'm going to launch it as it is. So let me say next. So here you could see there is a difference. Instead of the EPS, there is a snapshot which comes automatically. So this was the snapshot that was created when we created our AMI. So let me say next. You can add some tag. I don't want to, so you can say next. Either I can use some existing security group, or I can add HTTP rule from here. So I would say select an existing security group, and this is the security group that has the permission for HTTP on port 80 and SSH on port 22. So let me say review and launch. I will say launch, and I will say choose an existing key pair, sample private, and then say launch instances. So that was pretty straightforward. Let me go to that instance. The status is pending. Let me wait for it to get initialized. So my EC2 instance is now launched. So let's see if that web page, Techno Avenger web page, is also available on this newly launched instance. So let me copy this public IP, open a new web browser, and let me access the port 80 on this new instance. So you could see without doing anything, it is telling me welcome to Techno Avengers. So it means the customization that we did with our previous instance is still available with this new instance. So this is a pretty cool thing to do if you want to minimize your boot time. If you want to have some pre-installed things on your instance, you can do that. So that was about launching an AMI. Thank you for joining in. Have a great day. Techno Avengers is always there to make technology simpler. So keep learning, stay tuned, and keep connected.